Welcome to Zelda Speedruns. We have for you from the Zelda 2 Randomizer Standard Tournament 2025 a Swiss Round 5 matchup between JKoper and Tyvarius. I am VT Slacker. I'll be in the comms today. And tracking, we have Tomo Talk. But joining me in the commentary booth is Elendar. How you doing, Elendar? Uh, Mike doesn't seem to be working, Elendar. That's okay. We'll get it figured out. This is a 3-1 matchup um, between JKoper and Tyvarius. And I have sent the runners off, but of course we got the stream delay.
All right, am I back?
There you are.
It worked when we tested. All right, we're off. Yeah, it's 3-1 race. Mountainous question mark at the start? Hard to say. Yeah, this is so we say that the Swiss flags are just proceeding and that everyone's going to get a chance to get into the brackets. But this race, where runners are playing for a little bit more than the others, so we get some boots here for JKoper. Just based on the number of players still remaining, depending on how things shake out in this race, the winner is almost either guaranteed to get a first round bye or almost guaranteed to get a first round bye. And so this is effectively a bracket match already for the two players.
Yeah, that's two top runners here in Z2R, so we expect a pretty good race here.
Bagu with a nice magic container. And we've got the maze. So good start so far for JKoper, finding some good spots. This is the 5th and final week of Swiss, so we'll be starting up with brackets next week. And we'll be making it a little bit harder for brackets. Anyone who loses in the first round of brackets, of course, we'll be running the NIT again for players who get knocked out early. Everybody else can keep going in brackets with our bracket flags. I'll go over those more in the bracket reveal screen, but biggest changes are we're losing our beloved starting candle, and it's going to be a little bit longer of a path to Thunderbird.
I was saying the game might be a little loud. Got Tomo Talk working kind of the back end of the stream, so. But Tyvarius in Hard Container Cave, we find the raft in the first drop down from Maze Island on JKoper's side. Yeah, I think it might have been the game was a little loud. Yeah, because Elendar sounded okay in my ear, but I'm getting it direct from Discord. So JKoper still looking around on Maze Island. Tyvarius trying to find more item locations in towns in the west. I think going to get the boots here on the grass tile that Tyvarius picked up earlier. Or that JKoper picked up earlier, excuse me. JKoper just trying to wear down this blue Lizalfos.
Could be worth, an attack level plus, and oof, that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, with all that work just gone with a one shot. The thing is that Tyvarius found a 500-point P bag in Heart Container Cave, which I don't know if the blues can roll up higher than 500. Spell for Tyvarius in Trophy Cave. The odd colored bot.
$150. At least it's enough for attack 2. I counted out. That was like 35 hits. So that's a pretty.
Now was that between the two attempts? 35
Yeah, no,
hits?
no, that was just on the one attempt. So it means that attack 1 is 2 damage, like it usually is, and a little bit of a roll up on the blues. Attack 1 could be either 2 or 3 damage, but because of the way the math works, it's 2 damage like 80-something% of the time.
Spells changing everything into Muse.
I watch now. This is gonna be a 500 bag for Koper. Oh, okay, only 100. I was gonna say, if you do that much work to get 150 points and then immediately after get a 500 bag, you're like, what am I doing?
And Tyvarius found GP over on the west. And Crosstown in Rudo.
Yep, and we've got a raft is our only other way off of this maze. So Koper just gonna have to get his items and maybe do this palace and get out. Not gonna be able to progress further without an up A. Oh no, never mind. Koper found the raft already. What am I smoking?
Well, Ty just found Fairy underneath the table.
Okay, so I mean, pretty good item pickup so far for both runners. I'd definitely rather have Fairy, but we'll see how castable it is.
And Koper in P3 just got a window sighting.
Gonna need a jumper Fairy there, and yeah, he's just gonna take an up A and should be able to find the Fairy spell if he looks around. Meanwhile, Tyvarius didn't spend long on the maze. He is back in the west, wants to get all of these checks before moving on. Ooh, 1-ups in the small pool. That's good to know.
I did not check the sign in Mito. I didn't see what that was.
Yeah, probably intending to come back. If it's something important, a lot of the times people will go in and get the hint anyway, but a quick exit usually just means it's some not required stuff.
Yeah, it's the debate of, do you go in and get the hint going through all 3 screens, or do you wait until you can get down stab at the same time?
Yeah, well, it's not just the spell hint too. There's a number of hints available in this town. Tyvarius is going to show us, at least going to pick up the hint while he's here, but he's got a castable fairy spell now. He's going to go get down stab.
Okay, he must have already seen the sign since he walked right by it.
He checked it earlier, though I also missed it. So not going to know what it's for, but I suspect Tyvarius is gonna. If you're walking by, you might as well pick up the hint anyway, even if it's even if you know it's junk and you don't need it. You can still get some information about a place that doesn't have a thing. Although go east is not what they're looking for.
And Koper saw a hint at King's Tomb about Raru. I believe it said had the red jar. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, it was just a red jar in Raru. That is the only check in Raru, so runners can just
And
ignore it.
Tyvarius is in the east now. So there's water tile.
Yeah, it must have been very close. Yep, there's the medicine and
Yep.
Tyvarius. Yeah, it must not be important. Tyvarius does not even want to pick it up.
Art container town for Naburu. But of course we get to check the fountain.
Yeah. Water not going to be very valuable, but hey, the fountain could be good. Fountains, the last like 3 or 4 seeds I've seen, fountain has been great in, so we'll see if it holds up here. Jump spell.
Can be useful. And Nukasudo has the water.
I'm gonna file jump as like solidly mid when you already have fairy.
Well, I know a couple of the new rooms specifically are you need to have jump and can't use fairy.
Yeah, they're pretty rare though. I mean, jump is mostly just nice because it's a good cheap progression spell. Like it does have its value. I'm not gonna be sad I got it, but I would definitely rather have any key, a required spell, a glove. Tyvarius still doesn't have a raft yet. There's some heavy hitters that they haven't seen. Although at this point, raft is either Death Mountain or useless. So
I don't know. Is that technically a volcano east?
it could be. I didn't see it
There's a
well enough.
cave on the opposite side from where Tyvarius got into the valley.
Yeah, if it is a volcano, then we have a chance of double dip possibility. Or, excuse me, it could be potentially segmented.
Patrick in chat telling us it's only one item here at P1.
It's just an absolute awful Moa Ridge.
Having downstab will help. At least that blue iron knuckle wasn't too much of a problem. Didn't see how much fairy is to cast, but I would assume with only 4 bars, it's going to be only 1 cast at a life.
Yeah, on Tyvarius' side, that's the full amount. He hasn't picked up anything else, so it's got to be in the neighborhood of like 46.
JKoper picking up his fairy spell.
Here's a horse head. And it rolled down, so even an attack 2 not going to live long. And traditionally nothing amount of experience for killing a horse.
I would assume a trip back in to check for the item if you didn't already find it.
Yeah, I think he can go left out of here and then all the way up the elevator. I don't think he checked up, so pretty reasonable spot to keep going here. Yeah, they still need quite a few things, and who knows what else in the east. Hey, speaking of things,
How about the any key?
that is pretty high up there in the list of things that you want.
You don't have to worry about how much that fairy spell costs anymore. You can focus more on attack and life.
Yeah, although that fairy spell cost is going to be a bit of an issue here as Tyvarius attempts to navigate to the other side of the volcano. It's a good encounter skip. We'll see how many Moas are here. At least one.
There's one.
That looks like two.
And now switching over to Fairy Feet.
A smart check by Ty there, just checking those outside little tiles, hoping there was the minor item location was there. Doesn't find it, but looks like the last location got cut off by this lake.
Yep, that was Death Valley right there.
Yeah, that was a very short Death Valley. But he's out and through to the other side. See what he's gonna get for his troubles. Okay. Hammer could be good.
Seen a couple of rock-blocked caves.
Yeah, we didn't see the new Casuto Forest up on the north side, so it's probably going to be down here on the south side. We'll be able to check that while he's here. Koper, meanwhile, is pretty much finished up his west checks.
Just speed to answer the question in chat. Why saying Koper had skipped a P bag, Tyvarius has skipped a magic jar. Sometimes it's I don't want to waste the extra couple of seconds to go find it. Of course, if they just missed a check completely, it just might have been they just didn't see it. And moving on to a spot where it has more checks for them.
Yep. At a certain point, you know, you there's only so much better you can execute, and well, you know, playing faster is always going to help. There's times where you got to consider, you know, do you take a bit of a gamble? Do you skip something that might otherwise be useful? How
So
you're
here's
checking
the-
these east checks and getting garbage.
Well, yeah, the mirror, which right now is it thunder or reflect? No, then it's not really that helpful right now.
Yeah, thunder
Or the
reflect
glove.
and glove. Yeah, for Tyvarius, that's about all he's looking for at this point. I mean, we could potentially still need a flute. I say is Larry Town sighted
Nope,
and flute sighted. Okay, never mind.
Someone left the key under the mat again.
The River Devils, they're trying their absolute best. They learned some new tricks. They're doing the hardest they can, try to be useful, and they just aren't.
Oh, they're useful. It's just the answer's really close by. It's been nice to see Larry and Baku getting a glow up this version of the randomizer.
Yeah, they try their best. Where's that maze with the magic key?
We know, but Koper did not until that hint.
Yep, and he now probably wouldn't have left the item in P1 before, but is definitely not going to leave that in now.
That'll probably be his next stop because there's only one. There's only the one palace in the Valley of Death he could get to from this side of the east.
Yeah, Barba in P6 hint for Tyvarius. Or Barba in P6. The child is going to be in P6. Barba will also be there, but he's usually
And we do see the bridge tile in the east. Obviously that could go pretty much anywhere.
yeah.
Oh, Granny had the. Why are you stealing Granny's oven mitt?
Yeah, that container for Koper actually paying off huge. Tyvarius was not able to check the basement. The basement, only 5 containers required. We hit the low end today, so JKoper gonna be able to clear out this whole town. Tyvarius
Life spell in Old Casuto.
not interested. He's trying to go fast.
Like I said, you got 2 of the top runners here. Sometimes you have to kind of cut corners to try to make up with just a couple extra seconds.
JKoper got Fire Spell here in New Kasuto. Did a bit of a check, didn't see anything obvious. He'll have to get into an overworld encounter. I don't know if Spell wasn't castable or he just doesn't want to check Spell Tower. Spell may not be castable still at Magic 3 here. I know JKoper does have the spell though.
Yep. And yep, it goes into Death Mountain.
And JKoper just doing a cursory look around, see if there was a Spec Rock or a Hammer Cave close by, and decides, yeah, no, we don't need that.
And I did not see if this was 2 or 5, but there's 2 items in here.
Hopefully we get a window soon. We
yep.
did, it's 5.
And there's one of the items, the shield spell.
Definitely, if you don't have a life spell, you definitely want to pick one up. Here's the second item, okay. Both items real quick. Womp womp.
Aku's note, which will stay there.
It's occasionally required. The fact that we started with boots almost immediately here.
And we got the good side of Saria.
Yeah, not helping the case for Bagu's note.
JKoper in P1, so we'll probably kill Horsehead and pick up the key in some order.
Just depends whether he goes up or down that elevator at the end first.
That's one of the worst enemies in that room for Tyvarius. The Guma, if you don't have the gloves, just perfect arc right over the blocks.
Yeah, and then put a bubble right behind him, and then a Mago teleporting around. This is a rough set of enemies.
There seem to be a few rooms in the new version of the randomizer where the makers are like, let's take away the easiest way to get through this room. So that's why you see a few of them with kind of those low ceilings to stop down stabs.
Yeah, I mean, you can still down stab, but it's still just a little trickier, a little more claustrophobic. Gumas in those rooms kind of stink no matter what. But the big difference there being no free fairy. If you have fairy, you cannot just go above the Gumas.
And who wants four tile jump practice?
Tyvarius does not. He's just fully noping out. Glove or fairy block room, and Ty's gonna have to go take a death. JKoper finishes up his one.
Yeah, it still can only get the 1 fairy cast. Still at 44 magic, and at 5 bars, it only gives him 1 cast.
Yeah, but he'll be able to fairy feet through no problem and taking up A at the palace. He was thinking about going right up above there, decides to go left instead.
JKoper missed the fairy feet, had to try to do an encounter skip, and got caught by an invisible Moa. And Almost got caught by a spider.
Yep. Good news for him. He'll be out of that valley and plenty of places to recover or up A here.
Found the big boy.
Yeah, this is gonna be a high roll Guma in P5 at attack 3.
2 bars of health per hit.
Good news, very slightly less than 2 bars, so he can take 3 hits without dying. Bad news, that's 4 hits. And Ty is out. Not interested in any more attempts at a long 5 into high roll health attack 3 Guma. Yeah, the orange bar for over health, a new feature. Shout out to JRoBoy for building that and doing some work. It also, in addition to being able to show life over vanilla on the bar, that update also fixed a couple of weird glitches in how the vanilla represents health bars, and so they are more consistent now than they used to be. It used to be it was possible for like some bars to be 5 and some bars to be 3, and just all of that's been smoothed out, and the bar should now work pretty much as you expect it to.
I just keep stabbing it until all the bars turn white.
Yeah, right?
I don't know how much that takes, but...
Just stab the bar and don't get hit. Man, all these hints, we still haven't seen our hint for Fairy Thunder or Reflect anywhere, and I'm sure outside of a fairy hint, our runners would really like that.
Tyvarius still looking for the second item in P5. I believe he's already found one. And
no, he found both items in P5. The second item was just the note.
Oh. Okay. What? That's the trying to figure out what he's still doing. Oh, he's got to get back to Guma. That's right.
Yeah, he has killed Guma. He's just
okay. Sorry, there was a boss fight. I'm so used to being boss fight boss dies.
Maybe I'm wrong. And Tyson 6. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. There's totally
okay. But Koper is in 5.
Okay, they're just, I believe, almost identical colors.
Yeah, with Koper playing on hardware.
A little bit different just from the video feed. JKoper also not interested in the note. He's not too far from Guma, but also only attack 3. I don't think he's going to get the level up before he gets there, so we'll see if he is able to make it through.
And also no safety spells either.
JKoper does have the shield spell.
Oh, well, that's right. They both did have the shield spell.
Yeah, because it was sort of just sitting in this palace on the way. So
okay, just didn't remember Ty using it during his fight. But he didn't have magic.
He didn't have magic
unless.
Yeah.
See, I
Koper will have enough magic.
Things.
That extra container has come in handy in so many ways for Koper. Yeah, this Guma no longer a threat because of Glove. Although the bubble for beating up on his magic situation. Patrick saying Ty did use shield. I just got hit a bunch.
Well, there's the child in 6.
Yep, we knew that was there. Ty gonna check up the elevator because he Yeah, he's doing some math in his head, trying to figure out. We do have one of the new styles on that. All of the geometry of the palace makes sense now. So he's thinking about where, because he saw that segmented room with the child, he does know there's going to be another room on the other side. He's just trying to put into his head, how do I get to that child, or potentially how do I not get to that child? That's going to be the way of the child. He does not want it. He is going to leave. So just going all the way through, pretty much just holding left here in P6. And the 3-block jump room made much easier by the glove. Also, speaking of made easier by the glove, JKoper not going to need to ferry through this room.
We know this isn't the way to Guma unless it loops back around.
I think this was on the way.
No, that's right. Once again, I keep forgetting.
And
Ty ferried over that.
Once again, here's a high roll health on Barba. But gonna be Barba much easier than Yuma, especially when you're Ty and you've got some jackhammering action going on. Even at attack 3, he's gonna be able to clear this out in not too many cycles.
Doing very well to get back on the platform in time.
Yeah, now that he's low, he's gonna just resort back to normal stabs. Doesn't want to end up in the lava. Say as he makes a very clear jackhammer transition. 1,000 points, gonna get a double level here. And we'll see if he wants to go back into P5 now with attack 4. It's a long walk to Guma. Tyvarius back into the maze, not going to do 5. We didn't see what this maze palace was, or did we? I don't remember. Was it 3 or 6? We're going to see in a second regardless. Yeah, okay, yeah, it was 3 or 6, so definitely 3. JKoper trying to squeeze out a little bit more experience before going to Guma, as this will be attack 4 for him. Able to upstab through and jump up 500. Very nice. Only needed 50, but you'll take the 500. JKoper back down to fight Guma at attack 4. It'll be a little bit safer than Ty was, and if he can get this kill, then it's probably going to put him... I would say if he gets this kill in Guma, Koper's going to be solidly ahead. If he doesn't, still probably pretty even overall. Tyvarius with a P6 completion, but Koper with a glove. And it's scary when you for Ty, every palace he does without the glove is a chance to just lose a ton of time. And for all he knows, the glove is going to be in that palace, but we know that it is not. It is in New Kasuto. Koper down to his last bit of life. Gonna switch to safe strats. Oh, not happy with himself, but he does have a life in reserve. P3 gonna be not glove blocked and also not very long. Yeah, Koper has an extra life level, an extra life bar, I believe, over what Tyvarius had as well. Rebo down for Ty. Put his third gem on the board. Not a big level, but probably Magic 5. And now Ty doing some math on where he wants to go, what he wants to do next. For a much cleaner execution on Guma this time. Plenty of life in reserve. Takes him down. So, oh, yep, and this we're talking about with glove blocks. At least Ty got the palace cleared. The concern is, if that ends up being Reflect or Thunder, then that's going to be a huge loss for Ty. For a brief thought about saving up for life or attack level, decides against it. Just gonna up A. And hey, look, it's a rock. What's under the rock? Nothing. Koper, having took a death to Guma and realizing the potentially serious loss of a ton of time, decides to play it a little bit safe, pick up another spell. And then he's off. I suspect we're going to see him in 3 almost immediately as well. Ooh, he's in P4. He doesn't, and yeah, using the MOA to do a test. This fire is Reflect for JKoper. He had sort of expected that from process of elimination, but getting confirmation on the fires. So he's going to be able to do P4, probably into P3 right afterward. Elevator checks for Koper, finds just a dead end up. Gonna go all the way down here. Okay, so he's got this right, he's got the right 2 up. Meanwhile, Tyvarius looking around the map, making sure that he has checked everything in the west. He's gonna up A. He's kind of running out of spots to check. Wherever that magic container is that Koper found. Yeah, Tyvarius has found New Kasuto. He just only has 4 containers. I don't remember where. Yeah, the container was on Bagu, and Koper found it. Tyvarius didn't, so he cannot check the basement. Gonna be able to check this rock block cave. Maybe this will have a container for him. This was our last item cave on the west. Not a magic container, but not a pickup Ty's gonna be sad about. So we got Thunderspell, and Reflect was in P4. Ah, boy. If Tyvarius, he's likely to pick up the Fire Spell when he goes back, finds New Kasuto and checks the basement, but that's very silly. Of course, the fire spell being reflect is not in logic, but it can be logically required that reflect is in P4, just as long as it's hanging out before the boss, which it is here. Some quick reflex from Koper and P4 down. Yeah. And Tyvarius going right where he needs to. But this is going to get him his fire reflect, and he does have enough magic to check spell tower. If the tower has a container in it, Tyvarius is going to be in good shape. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know where another magic container is going to be. We've checked so many places. They're going to have to be in palaces, I suppose. At this point, we haven't seen Hammer Cave. Yeah, the chances of a container in Spell Tower are actually pretty good at this point. There's still 3 more in the pool, and not that many spots left for them to be. Koper did not check the Spell Tower, was unable to cast Spell when he was first here. Oh, just some water. Oh yeah, that's a good note from Patrick in chat. We did get a hint that the water was in New Kasuto, since Koper had already checked the other 2 locations he knew by process of elimination that water was going to be in the tower. Man, where are these magic containers? Yeah, Ty didn't get the child in P6. If we did have a hint that Darunia was a magic container, then that's gonna maybe come back to bite Ty. Yeah, and he's in Death Mountain now. He's gonna check Hammer Cave. He's not going to check Hammer Cave. Meanwhile, JKoper into P6. He knows there's a child here. He just needs Thunder. We know that it's back in the west. I don't remember where that hammer was that Ty picked up, but that is going to be required today. Presumably in one of the palaces. I don't think Ty is checked. I think they both checked pretty much all the overworld locations. Yeah, Ty and people. He picked up that reflect. He doesn't know that fire is reflect. He just picked up fire, and so he was just like, at this point he's just digging, hoping to find where in the world progress is, and hey, reflect is good.
So we have all the information we need then.
We do. We have all the information we need. The runners, neither of them have all the information we need. Koper needs to find a hammer so he can get Thunder Spell. Tyvarius needs to find a magic container so he can get himself a glove. And in theory, a magic container should be really easy to find, but it's just every location Ty checks, it's just not there. Yeah, he could go if he really thinks that it's gonna be in the basement. He could go back and go get the kid, turn it in for a container.
No, the water tile, that was the medicine.
Yeah, water tower was medicine. The kid has a magic container that was in P6.
So where's the magic container then?
The magic container Koper had, I believe, was on Bagu,
Okay.
which Ty could also find, but given that he hasn't found it yet, he probably is not going to. He may have just forgotten about it. Didn't find it and decided he's going to skip it. Yeah, and Ty, he looked into that pass-through cave really briefly and then was like, wait a second, is that like a little segmented area? Answer, yes. Now, is there anything in that segmented area? Unknown. Ty is going to take this cave and find out.
Well, P2 has to be somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, we know it's on the east.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's like its own separate Valley of Death there.
Yeah, just hanging out in its own little alcove there.
And Patrick noting that we have lots of red jars of different degrees in Zelda 2.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Tyvarius, he's just like, where in the world is this stupid glove? There are no items here in this P2. I mean, he needs to clear it, so gonna clear it while he's here, but he's gotta be just hitting himself over, where in the world did I miss something for progression?
And to further the joke Patrick put in chat, the medicine is also the water of life, not to be confused with the water from the water fountain.
Yeah. The thirsty lady not interested in the water of life, just the regular old water. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it happens in Seeds, you just don't end up finding any magic containers, and a lot of the times they're technically beatable without, but here, the Seed absolutely not beatable without finding at least one magic container. Yeah, if Nabuto has the life spell, that's the water for life, not the water of life. Very confusing, I know.
But like I said, we could had one magic jar in Bagu, could have two in Death Mountain. That would leave one hanging out somewhere.
We've already seen Spec Rock that had
Okay.
that had $50 on it. Have not seen Hammer Cave, so definitely could be a container hanging out there.
Just trying to think of where Tyvarius could run into one.
At this point, I think it has to. The last one just has to be palaces, right? There's Bagu, there's a kid, there's probably one in Hammer Cave, and then there's either one in Hammer Cave and one in a palace, or two in palaces.
But what items have we skipped in palaces for Tyvarius?
Yeah. I mean, we know there was one of the palaces he was in, the item was glove blocked. That could potentially be a container, although not going to help him.
I don't know if they've seen all the hints for the towns. I'm pretty sure they have. The entrance signs.
Yes, that's correct. If Mito has water, then it's the water of life for water for life. Yeah, there are no more major items left for us to know the locations of. Aside, I guess, hard containers.
And I think someone was asking about the cross. I believe that was in Rudo.
Yeah. Yeah, Cross, I believe, was in Rudo.
Yeah, both of them just skipped it.
Okay, JKoper, very briefly forgetting that was a dead-end roam, realizes it, heads back. Up A is just going to go left from the start. Yeah, and now Ty is thinking, right? I mean, he could go to Death Mountain. Very likely to have a container there. He can be like, okay, he's got to know that he skipped something here. Yeah, Cobra, unfortunately, just not finding the way in P6, and
I think
him not having to double dip P5 gained him a bunch of time, but all this time in P6 really hurting him.
I think Baku's Wood is northeast from where Ty is right now.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where it was. But Ty's looking.
Right there.
Yep. And he immediately realizes, yep, okay, there it is. That's what I missed. Shoutouts to Beardless Bagu. Yeah, and now Ty is going to immediately go back to New Kasuto. He doesn't have much left he can check. New Kasuto basement going to be the easiest possible check, and it's going to be the right one. So somehow, despite losing a whole bunch of time to not being able to find this container and find this glove, Copra has spent so much time in 6 that Ty probably back in the lead here. I mean, P2 and 3 were both fairly quick palaces for Tyvarius, and he does have to go back and do 5, which is going to take him a while. He knows the way, but it's just kind of a long route.
There is go mode.
Yep, and yeah, Glove will speed up P5 a bit for Ty, but it'll probably take him 4 or 5 minutes to go through. Yeah, and Copra was basically right next to Barba when he game over up rate. I don't remember what caused him to leave 6, but yeah, this 6 really hurting Copra. That being said, again, 2 and 3 were both pretty quick for Ty. Copra likely to follow a similar route. As long as he checks that hammer block cave and picks up his thunder when he up A's back to west, he's going to be in good shape. Oh, Copra doesn't have the hammer. I don't remember where that hammer was. That's a big deal. Copra just doesn't have it.
Well, I want to say it's an item cave, but I don't remember which one.
Yeah, Copra also, I don't know if he knows where P2 is.
I almost want to say it's either Risen or Sunken P-Bag Cave, but I'm not sure. Patrick thinks it was Risen P-Bag Cave as well.
It's going to be kind of awkward because he's going to have to find that and then up A now. And Tyvarius, he knows everything he needs to know. He just needs to go through P5. He knows the way. It's just going to take him a bit. Then he's going to go up A and immediately into GP. So Copra on the clock to find this hammer and his thunder spell.
Now let's see if Ty remembers the path to Kuma.
Should be fairly straightforward. I think it was mostly just hold left. Yeah, T-Bird is required for Thunderbird in these settings. Or T-Bird is required for Darklink. Darklink is not necessarily right behind T-Bird, but all paths to Darklink will be behind T-Bird. We also have on a setting where the path to Darklink will be at least 8 rooms long from the start to Darklink, but starting next week, that number will be increased to 12. No more short GPs. You're gonna have to work your way to get started.
What are the other changes when we get into brackets?
I don't remember all of them. The big hitters are, we're not starting with a candle, and path to Darklink is going to go up from 8 rooms to 12. We'll do a full rundown of all of the differences for bracket flags when we do the bracket reveal stream at some point, probably Saturday. Hidden walls aren't revealed. Thank you, Patrick. People who have not looked into where there are hidden walls. Most of the new rooms don't have hidden walls. There are only a couple that do, but make sure to do a little bit of studying up. Oh yeah, and Koper was in this P3 early, and apparently was 1 room away from Rebo when he got blocked by that fairy or jump block room. Alright, so 1 gem left for Koper. Tyvarius mostly remembers where he needs to go, did a quick little elevator check to make sure, but yeah, it's basically hold left the entire time, and then I think it's this elevator will take you there.
It might have been just, is it this elevator? No, not this elevator, it's the next one.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Koper, without his glove to get the Thunder Spell, he doesn't know that the item here not going to be required, so he's going to unfortunately waste some more time in palaces.
See how much damage Guma does at life 6.
Yeah, much more importantly, see how much damage attack 5 does compared to attack 3.
You only got 1 bar of health that time on a hit. Only got the 1 shot. About an hour into GP. Is Ty feel ahead or behind?
Hard to say. When you take that long to miss the glove, when it was kind of sitting right out in the area, you probably feel a little bit behind. Yeah, as expected, this item in P3 is a magic container. And Koper just thinking, trying to figure out where's something he missed.
Something that's I keep thinking about when going into GP, and you're probably the best person to answer this question. The guaranteed 50/50 Iron Knuckle Red Jar statues, are they global?
Yes, they are global.
Yes,
So if you remember which one you're on, whether you're on Jar or Bird, it can help quite a bit.
I was thinking, would runners have that internal clock?
Oh man, this is first waffle room. You can blame me for this one.
And I think you can blame lag for that. Those blocks getting cut out.
Yeah. A waffle room full of birds and lag. Name a more Zelda 2 combination. No, Patrick, I believe, and J-Ro would know for sure. I believe it is just a full global drop. I think unless you do a hard reset, it just remembers. Yeah, rough bird for Ty, taking his first death. Not only taking his first death early, but him having to cast Fairy there means that he is not going to be able to cast Thunder on this life either. These extra containers for Koper will come in handy here in GP. Also, I guess he's probably not going to get on the magic level here, but unfortunately, he picked the worst possible place to look for that hammer. He is here in Death Mountain. Gonna look for the extremely trolly possibility of hammer in Hammer Cave.
Could have been worse. Had a seed today on my stream that was glove in Hammer Cave.
Oof. Sometimes Hammer Cave is not that bad to find. Here, this is a pretty cramped. Well, I was gonna say this is a pretty cramped GP, but or a pretty cramped DM, but he does actually find it pretty quickly. Unfortunately for him, this is gonna be a container of some kind. Nice fire spell cast for Koper to make sure he doesn't get axed by those Dairas.
Ty doing a little bit of backtracking and found a possible loop.
Yeah, a little bit more than possible. It's the joy of the new Palace tiles. If you find a loop, you know it's a loop. I definitely on several occasions went, in a physical loop in the Palace and was surprised it looped when I first started playing on the new styles. I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, and unfortunately this path for Ty also taking him back in the same direction towards where he was. Good news for Koper, he's down in the south side of the east. I think this is the south side of the east.
This is the north side.
This is the north side. Okay, well, it's on the way to the south side. He also needs that hammer to get to P2. Yeah, just unfortunately for Koper's glove versus Tyvarius' hammer, and the hammer definitely seems to be winning right now. Yeah, and just another loot for Tyvarius. He realizes, and he's gonna up A and try a different way. Yeah, and Koper is just thinking about it, trying to figure out where he went wrong, what he's missing, and yeah, I don't like Tyvarius at all. Misses the stab, lets the bird out. It's like, well, why don't we try again?
Yeah, that one was not lag. That one was on you. And I think he knows it.
Always good to know that you get this kind of nonsense in the very first room of the Palace, and if you make a mistake, you can always just do a quick little up and try again.
And neither of those birds were being nice to him.
Not gonna jump up, gonna stab this bird in the feet. At least to cut the lag. Yeah, now I'm gonna go above the other one. I like it.
See, since that was an orange one down there, I would almost just go up that one block and take it from above.
Yep. All right, so JKoper has his hammer. He's going to be able to break his way into P2. He's going to be able to get his Thunder Spell. And he has a chance here. I mean, at this point, the question is just going to be how many game overs do these runners take in this GP? Because it does not seem friendly.
I've been given 2 easy seeds recently, so nice to see a nasty GP again. I was not happy that I rolled a seed that one of the runners beat in 41 minutes.
That was absolutely incredible. They can't all be great ones. Alright, so Koper finds the other cave, gets a mirror, realizes, okay, Thunder's not in the east. Where's it gonna be? I've got a hammer. Let me try the west. And he just goes a little bit to the west here. He is gonna find his Thunder Spell in just a sec. Tyvarius making it a little further on his first life this time. Oof, man. That bird absolutely wrecking him.
I know they look cute and cuddly, but do not hug the birds.
Yep. Good news. Nice health refill there, so not going to hurt him at all that he got birded. Alright, so new route for Tyvarius. Going down the elevator. Going to go underneath the beginning, but we didn't see any other way down. Alright. Koper has Thunder. Koper in go mode. Going to need to do P2, but shouldn't be too difficult. Man. Tyvarius, another
does he know
room.
where P2's at? Because like you said, it was kind of tucked away in that corner. I don't know if you could see the actual palace.
He's got to know where. I mean, he knows it's on the east. He's got to figure it's around here somewhere. He was looking at that rock block cave earlier. I'm fairly certain he's going to figure out it not too long. And it wasn't that long of a too, so it's probably going to be only a minute or two before we see Koper in GP as well, although he's going to have a couple game overs deficit to overcome.
But Ty is on last life again.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what it's going to come down to here.
And hit that 50-50 spot. Luckily, it is a jar this time.
Yeah, if that was a bird, that would have been rough.
I have unleashed a bird there plenty of times.
Now you know that your next drop is going to be a bird.
See, I could see if that was that statue Ty just passed, if that was a 50-50, hitting it just to switch it back over to a jar.
Yeah, it's something definitely to keep in mind. Meanwhile, Koper did, in fact, immediately find 2. He's going to be in and out of here pretty quick. I think it's just down this elevator.
There's Thunderbird.
Koper going to need Tyvarius to take a game over here if he wants to have a chance of winning this one. And I believe Ty still has a life in reserve, so...
The last time I saw it was not. Unless he picked up a 1-up.
I might be wrong. Last jump placed for Koper. Thunderbird down for Ty. How many rooms is it going to be to Darkling? Probably not that many. We've seen quite a few rooms and forks and loops that Ty was on earlier. Still got the possibility of it being something like 5 or 6 probably.
But we still got chickens.
Yeah, I mean, Ty does have to not die. That's all Ty has to do at this point. Make it through, don't die. Because a game over could potentially put Koper in the driver's seat if he lucks out and finds the right way early.
Ooh. Very...
definitely good news for Ty. He is 100% going to take this fairy. That's not Darkling.
Yep, there we go.
That is. Unfortunately, Koper's slow P6 and is not finding the glove the first time through, or the hammer the first time through, costing him too much time here. And despite his game overs, Tyvarius going to be your winner of this race. Just a second, official time 109.38. Get your GG's chat. And we're joined by Tyvarius. GG.
You there, Ty? I might be getting stuff set up.
And we're joined by Tyvarius. GG.
I think Koper is going to forfeit from here.
I realized I was talking and my mic was still muted. Thanks for the GGs.
Well, GG. So you finished with 2, needed to go back into 5, but also needed to find the glove. What were you thinking?
I was down to 5 locations and I knew 4 of them were magic containers. So I knew the redig of, what was it, 3, the glove locked item in 3 had to be a magic container. And so I'm like, well, I'm just going to go to a quick one. Hope Bagu has a magic container and go right to the new Kasuto. I was a little mad that I missed Bagu at first. I'm even more mad that I completely just had cold hands on Guma the first time, because this should have been a sub-hour, but oh well.
GG to you as well, Koper.
JKoper.
GG.
Hope you're feeling better, dude.
Not 100%. That's for sure. That is for
Fair.
sure. But I mean, whatever. I'm surviving, and I didn't affect the race at all. Yeah. No, my biggest problem in this race was coming out of Valley of Death with 1 life and low health, and I'm like, I just want to find a palace down here so that I can up an A. And I did eventually, and I beat 5 and whatever, and then I got the life spell after that, which was not convenient, but then I just didn't go back to those caves, and then that's where the hammer was, and that unlocked the seed. So yeah, I spent a lot of time looking for the hammer when it was relatively free.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that ended up being the big difference in the race was Tyvarius missed Bagu early and so didn't have the glove forever, and then you had missed those caves down there, didn't have hammer, and it was just a matter of who found where they were going first. And Ty, yeah, you were correct about where all the remaining magic containers were. There was 1 in Hammer Cave, there was 1 in 3.
Yeah, luckily the glove locked less than the hammer, so I think I got more lucky than Koper there, which is kind of what I've noticed about these 5.0 flags, you know, clear until you're in 100% go mode, otherwise just full clear the seed, and this one definitely felt like that.
Were there glove locks in the palaces?
The item in 3 and then in GP technically it was a fairy glove block in 5 on the way to Guma, but we had fairy really early.
Yeah, I don't even remember a fairy glove block.
That's the skull room, the room that looks like 2 skulls. That's a landing room.
Yeah, that weird room. That's the first time I've seen that room.
Okay, yeah, it's a landing room, which is really fun because it can soft lock you if you don't have the glove or fairy and you land in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, that room threw me for a loop. It's like, what is this? I think it was only that room and maybe 1 or 2 others at most that were. Oh, and then my other big problem, of course, was totally misreading 6. Yeah, 6. Like it was weird how you had to take the one exit from the elevators, and then there was like the path going around the boss, but not into the boss. So I took way longer than that, and then I should have figured that out for sure. Oh, that might have made a difference. I was taking it a little soon too. I don't know how long you were in 6 at all, but
yeah, I already moved off the stats to quiet my audio on my end, but I know I wasn't a fast 6 because, like you, I checked everything but that right for a while.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was so lost that I was like checking rooms that I was pretty sure were dead ends and just double checking and making sure. It's like because like you just never know these days if something's been changed, and like I know this room with the lava is a dead end. The dead end without the lava is funny how it's the same exact room setup, but
or this one has a curtain or a window, and all right, what difference does that make?
Yeah, they were both dead ends. I thought it was just that one little path. So it overall kind of a small 6, I think. It didn't feel like that many rooms.
Didn't feel terrible, no.
Just a matter of.
I shook my head at Reflect because I got fire, tested it, and I'm like, all right, let's Reflect, let's go into 4, and sure enough.
Yeah.
I'm just like, come on, Seed, you can't have one joke. Oh well.
Yeah, that was disappointing for sure. I was certainly hoping for thunder. But the hammer was obviously required regardless because you had to take that one special little cave to get to the last palace.
Oh yeah, to 2.
Yeah, the mini Valley of Death.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, that was super weird. It was harder to get there than it was to get to 1. Although coming out of 1 was a different story. But it shouldn't have been as hard as I made it. I don't know. The cross would have been nice for sure. Trying to come out of there. Getting the cross would have meant to get the hammer the first time because I went to bed in those caves.
That was too long of a chain. I agree. I was like, I'm not getting that.
Yeah. Anyway, I hope it was an interesting race. I don't know how GP was. I just got in there a minute or 2 ago. So.
It was a little. The first few rooms were fun. A lot of chickens, and then if you just went all the way to the bottom of the first elevator instead of exploring the loops in the middle, you got to T-Bird and Darklink fairly quickly. But if you explored the loops, you were in there for a hot minute.
Yeah. Tyvarius, it was a room or 2 before Darklink was last life, I think less than 1 health bar, but found a fairy.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So I might have had a chance if he had game over, I guess.
It would have been real close.
That tough of a path.
Correct, because before that fairy, Tyvarius hugged a blue chicken.
Yeah, I was a little late on some of my shield spell casting. Again, I don't know if it's the cold fingers or just brain fog, but lagging behind, So definitely took a few hits that I didn't need to because I cast shield as I was taking the hit.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy, but I had shield and jump, and it was all.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if there were tough rooms after the ones I got there, probably, but
for sure.
Sorry. Yeah. Is this the end of Swiss? Are we still going? I don't even know.
I think this is the
Yeah.
end of Swiss, which means best of threes, which is my preferred style.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Moving on to brackets.
Yep. I'll be 3-2. You'll be 4-1. Means we're
Yep.
not going to be racing each other in the first round.
Not right away. Look forward
Yeah.
to the rematch when it happens, though.
Yeah, probably based on the number of players, everyone at 4-1 gets a bye for the first round. It's either all the 4-1s or all but one, sort of depending on the situation with drops.
Right on. Cool.
Well, anything.
Koper, thanks for being super easy to schedule with. Friends, thanks for the restream. Thanks for comms, tracking, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, thanks to you too. And that same, I guess. Thanks for all the stream commentary. So, yeah. Man, I feel better. In a couple
Yeah,
days.
same to you, bud.
Yeah, I think there's something going around, but because I think the commentary booth is not feeling well either. So,
Yeah,
Mhm.
can't confirm.
but anyway, definitely want to thank Koper and Tyvarius for the show they put on for everybody. Thank you to my co-commentator Elendar and to our tracker Tomotalk, working behind the scenes to make everything show up correctly and sound good. I know there is a race going on right now that is off stream. Will probably be restreamed as a VOD at some time. Let me see. Do we have? When's our next one that could possibly be restreamed? Got one Wednesday. A couple Wednesday. It looks like coming up. So we'll see about trying to get those on either ZSR or someone's personal restream. But try to look out on the Z2R Discord. But other than that, thank you for watching, everybody, and we will see you next time.